Nope, don't want that. Don't want that. Oh! Well, you're not in the fridge, so something's already off. In T-minus 2 hours, I'm about to head to the airport, catch a flight over to the East Coast, and I'm gonna take you with me. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jim with Doesn't Pay Full Price. Just about finished packing. Gonna head to the airport and we're flying to Boston, Massachusetts. I wasn't planning on filming a video for this. I didn't check a bag, I'm just bringing a backpack. So I don't have my tripod, my big camera, microphone, any of that stuff. Most of this video will just be filmed on my phone, so bear with me. Every video I try to do something different, see what works, what doesn't. Let me know what you like, what you don't about it in the comments below. Very interested, please leave a comment. I need it, please, please, please. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and share this with your friends and everything, because we're just at the precipice of being monetized by YouTube, and that would be pretty amazing. I will land at approximately 4:30 in the morning, and then I have about 8 hours to myself, and then the rest is gonna be family time. So I'm just gonna hit the ground running. I've got a rental car that I'm really excited about. We're gonna get some local beer, local food, and I'm gonna throw in a recipe in a kitchen that I've never cooked in before, and I don't have a recipe in mind. This should be a really fun insight of what you could do in 24 hours in Boston. Don't go anywhere. Just landed in Boston. Going to pick up our rental car with Hertz. So let's see what we got.
I guess one good thing about being 5 a.m. is there's no lines.
Space 736, wherever that may be. Where are we at? 600. 618, 736. All right, now we're talking.
This was only $20 more than the cheapest rental car, and I've never driven a Tesla.
Oh, look at that! They even left a nice little defroster stick. All right, now I just have to figure out how to drive this thing because I've never driven a Tesla before. So, yeah, oh, that's the seat back. All right, now let's figure out how to get the hell out of here. This one pedal braking is gonna take a little bit to get used to, but so far, I think I figured out how to use most of the stuff in here, and I've only gone 2 miles. We got in at 88% battery. We're at 86% now, and I just left the airport. So I'm very interested to see how long this lasts me. All right, it's, can you see me over the wheel? God damn. I'll lower this thing. Aha. There we go. Now you can see me. It's a much more manageable time now. I had to get a little nap in. Got some coffee. And I think when you're in New England, the first order of business should be to get a New England IPA. You may or may not have heard of Treehouse Brewing. All their locations are like 30 minutes to an hour outside of Boston, but you cannot get their beer anywhere other than their locations. So we're gonna go to the one in Tewksbury today. It's about 30 minutes out of the way, but you know, I think it's a good way to start the day when in New England, so let's go.
So this is their newest location, and it is massive. They literally bought an entire golf course. One building is just for to-go beer. I don't know what they're gonna do with this main building, but they have a temporary tap room. That's what we're gonna check out now. The only weird thing is you have to scan a QR code and buy a ticket for a beer online. Then they scan it and pour it to you. Unfortunately, they're in plastic cups, but the views are pretty spectacular.
All right, those were some pretty tasty beers. Does it live up to the hype? Yet to be determined. But now I need some food in my stomach, and unless you're from Massachusetts, I don't know if you'd really get this one, but whenever I'm back, there's a couple non-negotiable. Family, as much seafood as I can eat, and a roast beef sandwich. I know what you're thinking. This is not a Arby's roast beef sandwich. This is a real, like, shaved roast beef sandwich. Kelly's is the big chain that everyone knows, but we're not going there. We're going to get the top-rated roast beef in the North Shore of Massachusetts, which also happens to be the place that I used to go to growing up. We are going to Nick's Roast Beef.
Welcome to Nick's world-famous roast beef, located in Beverly, Massachusetts, and it has been at least 10 years since I've been here.
How's it going? Good. Can I just do a junior beef? Can I do barbecue sauce and horseradish sauce, please? As well as onions.
This place opened in 1975, and it is virtually untouched by time. From the pictures on the wall, to the chairs that are still bolted in the ground like a 1980s McDonald's. But if you're getting a beef, this is what you want the place to look like. This takes me back to some late night, not so sober nights in high school.
All right, let's see if this is as good as I remember, because this was $8.51 for just a beef sandwich. Not even the big beef, the super beef as they call it. This was the junior beef. Kind of don't want to eat this in here because I feel like this may be messy. Let's see what that looks like. I think I'm going to opt to not eat this in the rented Tesla. I'm going to take this inside where I don't have to pay if I make a mess. All right, much better. Here we have our junior beef with horseradish sauce, barbecue sauce, and onions. So, good amount of sauce on there. If I can get some light in here. I saw them shave this real roast beef right in front of my eyes. Not your like Arby's cooked in a bag stuff. This is messier than I remember it being. Cheers. Oh yeah. I don't think I ever got horseradish sauce as a kid. I was missing out severely. It is not only as good as I remember it being as a kid, I would say it's better. It's really sad that the closest comparison is Arby's because they are not in the same ballpark. They're not even in the same universe, nay, metaverse. This is so much better. You can tell that it is freshly sliced, in-house roast beef. The barbecue sauce is tangy, but not too sweet. If anything, only because I'm a spicy fan, I would say it could use more horseradish. But the horseradish sauce is creamy. It just adds to it. It doesn't overpower the beef. You can still tell that it's really good quality roast beef. If you come to Massachusetts, make sure you get yourself a roast beef sandwich. It can even be a Kelly's roast beef sandwich, but just make sure you stop and get yourself a real roast beef sandwich. You wouldn't think that this would be a thing to get, but definitely make sure you stop and get one. It's definitely worth it. $8.50 all day long. I've got just a couple hours until my mom gets out of work. She's very graciously letting me stay here for a couple days while I'm in town, and I figured what better way to say thank you than to surprise her with a really nice homemade dinner. I want to do something healthy. I want to use as much seafood as possible, and I'm thinking a Cioppino would be really good. There is what is probably the best seafood market I've ever been to just a couple blocks down the road. So I'm gonna go there, check it out, see what they have. I'm gonna get some fish, maybe some shellfish. I really have no plan. Depending on what they have that looks good, I might have to change this whole idea. So I'm going in with no recipe, no plan. We'll see what they have and go from there. Wouldn't you know it, this market just happened to have absolutely everything I need to make a perfect one-pot Cioppino. And by the way, I'm going to put all the ingredients and measurements in the description below, so make sure to check that out. But I'm going to just start by sauteing up some onions and fennel in a medium pot over medium-high heat, just for about 5 minutes or so until everything becomes translucent. Give it a good stir. And this recipe, by the way, is for 2 people, so you can always multiply that and make more or less if you're alone or if you have many friends. I'm going to add in about 4 cloves of garlic after the onions and fennel have kind of sauteed out a little bit. Then throw in a little bit of white wine just to deglaze the bottom of the pan. Stir that around for a couple seconds and then add in some Market Basket crushed tomatoes. 1 full can. This can be any kind of crushed tomatoes. They don't have to have an accent from New England. I'm going to stir this around and then I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper because I like just a little bit of heat. And then I'm going to add just a few bay leaves. Make sure to fish these out before you eat them though, because these do not break down and they're just going to be chewy and gross when you go to eat your Cioppino. Let this simmer for a couple minutes and then I'm going to add some clam juice, about 8 ounces, that I'm going to try to open with one hand. Maybe I'll try the other hand. Nope, I'm just going to have to hold the phone with my chin because I need 2 hands to open this. There we go. And you could also use seafood stock, by the way. I, weirdly enough, couldn't find seafood stock, so I'm using clam juice. If you can pour this in slow motion, it looks really good on camera, but also feel free to use regular motion. Cover this up with a lid and then let that simmer for about 15 minutes, just so all those flavors can meld together. Then we're going to take some littleneck clams and mussels, add them to the pot. I'm going to cover this up again and let them go for about 5 to 7 minutes, just till those mussels open up. Then I've got some shrimp
and cod. You could use any kind of seafood. That's just what looked really good. Cover it up, let it simmer for a few minutes, maybe about 5 to 7 until the fish cooks through. And then I like to put all the seafood in the bowl and then cover it up with a bunch of sauce. Then, of course, you can't eat this without some toasted ciabatta bread. I'm going to put a couple pieces on there. Nice wedge of lemon on top. And then I've got fresh chopped parsley. Parsley goes really well with seafood, also goes really well with any kind of red sauce. So sprinkle that on top. And I also saved the tops of the fennel just for something different. Nice little garnish on top with fennel. And then you have an amazing one pot cioppino in under 30 minutes that any mom would be happy to come home to.
All right, it's the last drive in the Tesla. Goodbye, Boston. It's been great. But I think we got a little room to actually step on the gas a little bit and see what this thing can do. Oh, shit. I love this car. This is crazier than I would have thought. If you get a chance, I would highly recommend, if you've never driven a Tesla like me, at least renting one and seeing what it's like for the weekend, because I'm kind of a believer now. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Please show me some love, hit the like button or the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.